I don't know. I'd say I'm reasonable.
Okay, that's completely unreasonable.
I'm reasonable.
I'm unreasonable.
You have no idea just how reasonable I have been.
Reasonable synonyms are sensible, rational, practical, fair, appropriate.
Fitting, suitable, logical.
All things I would definitely say describe me.
Do they describe you?
Welcome to I'm Reasonable with Zainab Johnson.
I'm reasonable. I'm reasonable. I was like, I'm going to stop saying that. And somebody was like, girl, no, I look forward to it. Keep saying it. And I'm like, okay. So as you guys can see, well, first of all, welcome to another episode of I'm Reasonable with Zainab Johnson. I'm Zainab Johnson. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with me today. So as you guys can see, my background is very different. I am not at my house. I'm not in my office. And the next couple of episodes I won't be in my office. So there might be there might be this background. It might be different backgrounds anyway. And I'm also kind of like just lounging. Like you see, I got the mic in my hand. Like we're going to make it work. We're going to make it work, right? Because we still giving episodes. We still coming and hanging out every week, right? But what was I trying to say? Yo, we off to, okay. Let me just Oh, I know what I was saying. The reason why I'm kind of like leaned over to the side, two reasons actually. One, because I'm sitting in this chair and it's just super comfortable. My leg is like halfway up in the chair. I got my laptop and normally my notes, like my notes be on my desktop in my office, but I have my laptop, which is sitting in my lap right now. And so also anything that I throw up on the screen, I'm going to try to throw it right here. So that's why I'm leaning to the side to give enough space to just keep everything right here. Ooh. Yo, these braids are on their last follicle. Okay. They need to come out. They have to come out. I start filming next week. They have to come out. I am just dreading it and I'm procrastinating. But best believe next week, you're not going to see these braids. So let's just give a RIP to the blonde ombre knotless, whatever they are, right? Boho knotless, whatever. All right, so let's talk about being reasonable, right? On a scale from the comment section to 10, how reasonable have we been this week? So I think you can already guess what I'm going to talk about this week. I'm going to talk about the comment section. I'm going right into the comment section. I'm not talking about the DNC. I know Tuesday night or Monday night rather was the first night of the DNC, and we'll talk about. I think we'll have a lot more updates and things to unpack next week, right? I'm going right into the comment section. That's it. That's all we're doing this week. We're going right into the comment section. But before we do, thank you everybody that came out to my crowd work show in LA. Yo, it was so much fun. I did a lot of crowd work, but so I had everybody that came in, like everybody that was seated, I had them like just put a suggestion in the box. And so while I was up on stage, I could either go from the suggestion box or just go straight from the audience. And one of the managers of the venue, she was like, I just don't know if we're going to get enough suggestions. I just don't know. I don't want the audience to. I got so many suggestions. So I think I'm going to do an episode. Like I think I'm going to do a bonus episode. If I have time, I'm going to do a bonus episode from my crowd work show. And I'm just going to go through all of the suggestions that I did not get to when I was on stage. I think I'm going to do it again. I think I really, really enjoyed that. And I don't know if I guess it's still crowd work. But basically, it's just improvised. Like that night, I did not do one written joke, not one prepared joke, but I was still funny. And it was still like a really fun, entertaining, and might I say, if y'all was there in the comments, give it a thumbs up if you agree with me, an insightful night. Anyway, thank everybody that came. As you know, some of my August and September dates have been rescheduled. I have the rescheduled dates for you guys today. But the one date that has not moved is my Bloomington, Indiana date. I will be coming to Bloomington, Indiana. This will be my first time. I think it's my first time in the state of Indiana, but this will be my first time at this club, my first time in Bloomington, Indiana. I will be at the Comedy Addict on September 13th and 14th. 2 shows each night. 4 shows total, September 13th and 14th. So if you are in Bloomington and or the surrounding areas, make sure that you guys get those tickets. The link to the tickets are in the details of this podcast. Raleigh date is being rescheduled. October 17th through the 19th, I'll be in Philadelphia. October 25th and 26th, I will be in Detroit. November 8th and 9th, I will be in St. Paul. So remember, St. Paul was a September date. It's been rescheduled to November 8th and 9th, St. Paul, Minneapolis. November 11th, Amsterdam, the Netherlands. November 14th, Geneva, Switzerland. November 15th and 16th, Paris, France. November 18th through the 23rd, London, England at the Soho Theater. And I added those shows for the last 3 nights. I added a late show and those tickets are selling. My manager was like, the tickets are selling and we're not even pushing them. So you guys, every time I tell you guys to get tickets and then the show sells out, sometimes the shows don't be selling out. And that's where we need to do the work. But certain cities, the shows at this point are guaranteed to sell out. And when they do, you guys then be hitting me up like, oh, damn, I just said. And I help when I can. Like, you know who you are, who hit me up. There were a few people who hit me up for the LA show. And I was posting every single day like, you guys, not only is it going to sell out, but it's not a large venue. So I'm telling you that it's limited seats. And still I have, now the first person to hit me up, I was able to have them rearrange and get them some seats in. I also tell people when a show sells out, you can chance it and show up at the door because people buy tickets and then for some reason, whatever reason, they can't make it, right? But for the most part, just get the tickets when I announce them. It's that simple. November 29th through December 1st, Ontario, California. December 4th, Austin, Texas. December 6th through the 8th, Houston, Texas. January 16th through the 18th. January 16th through the 18th, 2025, Washington, D.C. So that's a rescheduled date, right? And then February 21st through the 23rd of 2025. February 21st through the 23rd is the new Chicago date. So like I said, the link to the tickets are in the details of this podcast. So if I listed any city that you are in or nearby, or that you know someone in or is nearby, go ahead and put them on. Details. The link is in the details of this podcast. While I have you, hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up button. Okay. Subscribe, like, share. I appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, what's up with Z? So I'm in Vancouver. We are filming the 4th and final season of Upload, which is a half-hour comedy currently on Prime. I am a series regular on this show. I play the character Alicia. I'm really, really happy. I'm excited. Yesterday, I read the scripts. I can't tell you anything about it because it would be a breach of my contract. But I'm really excited. I am really, really excited. So if you haven't watched Upload yet, it is on and you have Prime, go to Prime, go to Amazon Prime and check it out. There's 3 seasons available. Check it out, watch it so that you're prepared when the 4th season comes out. And if you have watched it, watch it again. No. If you have watched it, thank you. We really, really appreciate it. So I'm in Vancouver, and I love Vancouver because Vancouver is super walkable. It's I think I didn't pack right. Because I have been so tired of overpacking. Like when I was in Egypt, I wore a lot of clothes and still didn't wear half of the things that were in my suitcase. And so when I'm lugging that suitcase, when the person that works for the airline, when the airline employee has to put that heavy or oversized label on my checked luggage, I'm like, I'm doing too much. And so when I came here, I'm like, okay, my reality is every day I'm working. For the most part, when I'm on set, I don't have to really wear my own clothes. I just got to wear sweatpants or leggings or something, get to the set. And all I got to really do is show up clean with my teeth brushed. That's really all I got to do. Makeup is going to put a face on. Hair is going to do my hair. Clothing, they're going to put some clothing on. You know what I'm saying? I got the line. I ain't even saying my own words. I literally have to do nothing in my own real life, you know? So I was like, okay, I'm going to pack really light, which I did. But then yesterday I was walking back to where I'm staying from my favorite coffee shop, and I'm like, I forget that Vancouver is kind of chilly. Like, I was just in LA where it was every day a consistent 80 something degrees, bright and sunny. We did have an earthquake. I talked about it in the crowd work show because somebody I forgot. It scared the crap out of me. And then the next day I forgot about it. And then somebody at the crowd work show brought it up. Earthquake aside, it's beautiful, beautiful weather, right? That's what I just left. And so I forgot that it's just a bit colder up here. Even on the warm days, it's a bit colder. Anyway, I'm here. And do I have anything? Has anything happened? I was on a plane coming here and people was on there funky smelling. But I don't know. Whatever. Let's go into this comment section, right? All right. So I know that a lot of times I try to respond to all of the comments. I definitely try to read all of the comments because I like it to start. I like the conversation to start here, and then I like for it to be continued in the comment section, right? And so when I go into the comment section, I am aware that I'm going to see a bunch of different things, right? I'm going to see people telling me how much they love it and appreciate it, and that is reciprocal. I love doing this for you guys, and I appreciate you tuning in, and I appreciate you continuing the conversation. I'm going to see people that whatever line sticks out to them, whatever quote, whatever really got them going in whatever particular episode, they just going to drop that line in the comments, right? I'm going to see people make a comment about something and they're not going to properly or specifically reference it. So I'm not going to have any idea what they're talking about. I'm going to see people talk about you guys are going to respond to my questions, which is like, is this reasonable? Is that reasonable? You guys are going to tell me what you think, right? Sometimes I agree with what you're saying. Sometimes I do not. And then inevitably, I'm going to see people who either people or bots that just troll. They say very negative things, just like to get a reaction. And guess what? They'll get no reaction from me, right? I actually posted on Instagram. I posted a clip from maybe it was last week's episode. It was like black people for Kamala, white people for Kamala, dogs for Kamala, cats for Kamala, whatever that was, right? And clearly it's a joke, right? And clearly it's a clip out of context, right? And a few things happened, but two major things happened is people of course fought, right? People fought about who they want to support, what candidate they want to support. And then a lot of people cursed me out and was like, oh, well, if you support her, then you support genocide. And, you know, I don't willingly support genocide. And I think that that's something, I'm always surprised that I actually have to say that, right? Here's the thing. This ain't a hot take. Anybody that supports the genocide can actually say it. You want to know why? Anybody that supports Benjamin Netanyahu, anybody that is pro-Zionist, not pro-Israel, but pro-Zionist, anybody that is of those opinions, they can actually say it because there's no consequence. And I hate to break that to you guys out there. There's actually no consequence for being on that side. There's only consequence for being pro-Palestine. There's only consequence there, because where the power lies is not on the pro-Palestinian side. So just trust that anybody that is Zionist, they can say it, and they are saying it and will say it, because nothing will happen to them. Our own president, and here's the thing, you guys, that's any president of our current, of the United States, they're going to be pro-Israel. I'm so sorry. Now, here's the thing. I'm not telling anybody to stop protesting. Now, I did an episode on misguided grief, right? So in your grief, don't start attacking the Black community. Don't start telling Black, people who have been allies to you. Don't start telling people remove the Palestinian. You don't even have the numbers for those threats. It is counterproductive. If anything and everything you are trying to accomplish to make an enemy of the Black community is counterproductive. That's just something that you have to know. And so I'll do a bigger episode on this. I was actually talking to this guy about this, a brown guy about this. And I said, okay, what are we having? Are we having a practical conversation or an idealistic conversation? Because they're very different. And let's not conflate the two. Idealistically, we all know what we'd like to happen. But unfortunately, even in protest, which I am for, I believe we should protest. Even in protest, even in speaking out, even if in holding people accountable into the fire, even in doing that, what hasn't been proposed at all beyond a ceasefire, right? Which is like, we all know that both sides, that's what the people want. It's almost like the electoral college, right? In 2016, the people wanted Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton got the popular votes. But then the electoral college, it didn't matter. So it's like, yeah, the majority of the people want to cease fire. But the people in power seem to not be making that happen, right? But here's the thing. The people who are, who are like, oh, take your Palestinian flag out your bio. Guys, we got to stop with the stuff that doesn't matter. We got to stop with the bios don't matter. Unless you clicking on the link to the tickets in my bio, bios don't matter. You think because somebody puts their pronoun, they, them, in a bio, you think they still not being discriminated against? Don't worry about a flag that's in somebody's bio, especially if it is for the very thing that you are trying to help. Here's the thing when it comes to, I'm on a tangent, right? Here's the thing when it comes to our current election, the United States, right? And I'm actually going to, right after I say this, I'm actually going to post a video that explains this so wonderfully. And sometimes people got to hear it from their own people. So I'm going to do that in just a second, right? There's no solution. If you don't want me to vote for Kamala and you don't want me to vote for Trump, well, who do you want me to vote for? And don't tell me there's a person, right? Who do you want me to vote for that at this moment has a viable, a believable chance at actually winning? Now we talking practical right now. I ain't like the president, aside from Obama, like front facing Obama, policy Obama, policy president. I ain't like the president since I've been born. I ain't like the president. But I know when I look at the two options that we have, because we only have two. Now, I do believe that we have to put in the work to change that. I do believe that. But right now, today, we only got two. So, if you think that by voting for Kamala or voting for anybody in the Democratic Party, if you think that makes me specifically or anybody else pro-genocide, and that you know good and well in your bones, ain't nobody pro-genocide. At my crowd work show, one of the first things somebody called out was Palestine. I said, okay, what would you like to like specify it? And they couldn't specify it. They were just like Palestine. And I'm like, would you like to know my position? And the reason why I say, because I feel like it's obvious. You can't tell people not to do something without telling them what to do. And that what to do has to be result oriented. It has to make sense. And just because you don't have that, or you can't tell people to do that, or just because you want to ignore the fact that two things can be true at the same time, I'm going to vote for her, and I do not support genocide.
I think at this point we are all aware of this conversation, and we've all heard subsequent conversations about the divide between Black Americans and pro-Palestinian activists. And this was an uncomfortable watch. It was really difficult to sit here and watch a Black woman get spoken over, muted, and white woman tears essentially in action. But one thing that this video did is it did highlight very valid concerns about anti-Blackness in the pro-Palestinian and Arab communities. Now, this entire situation started because there are activists who are telling Black Americans, if you're planning to vote for Kamala Harris, take the Palestinian flag out of your bio. You no longer support Palestine if you're voting for Harris. This is the same rhetoric that Maya was applying to Tori here, saying because you're voting for Kamala, you no longer support Palestine. And she lied to her followers and said that Tori claimed she would never support Palestine again because of this. So the anti-Blackness was very much at play here. It exists in the entire conversation, but this is not the only context that it exists in. Anti-Blackness has been a pervasive issue in the pro-Palestinian movement, specifically as it pertains to this election and votes for Kamala Harris. Now, there have been a lot of insinuations that Black Americans voting for Kamala are putting in a vote for their comfort. They're voting for genocide. And we need to look at the bigger picture and realize that there is a lot more nuance to this conversation than we're allowing in. We should not be so obtuse that we don't recognize that our choices are between a third party who won't win, Donald Trump, who will harm everybody, and Kamala Harris, who is at least a safe option for people domestically. We shouldn't be policing the vote of Black Americans when this choice directly impacts their safety and their lives. Now, don't get me wrong, Kamala is an imperfect candidate, but we can still criticize and hold her accountable while still understanding that she is the better option for everyone. Collectively pressuring and collectively asserting support for Kamala are not mutually exclusive ideas. We have already seen, following the protest of the uncommitted movement, that Kamala has been very willing to alter her stance on issues pertaining to Israel and Gaza. We need to keep pushing, though. And we need to stop allowing this divisiveness and this anti-blackness to exist within our community. We should be working with Black creators, Black activists, to ensure not only our safety as Arabs who are threatened in the Middle East, but ensure their safety as well as Black Americans who are threatened here at home.
I don't know what made me get into that. Oh, yes, I do. So I posted that clip right on Instagram. It was a clip from last week's episode. And I actually was pointing out how funny I thought it was that there were so many different groups. Like that's the humor that I was trying to present, right? Because I saw groups so specific. It makes sense when you see black women for Kamala, white women for Kamala, white men for Kamala, black men for Kamala, comedians for Kamala. You know what I'm saying? I was seeing things so specific like West Virginia trans for Kamala. Southern Baptist I mean, it was the categories were getting so specific that's what I found funny. You know, that it became this cool thing. Curtains for Kamala. Weather for Kamala. That's humor. That's fun. And then I point out, which is a fact, who we know ain't for Kamala, Trump. And if you can't laugh at if you can't laugh at me saying Trump is now trying to call and get Biden back on the line, and they getting the operator saying the number you've dialed can no longer be. If you can't find a human, if you decide to go past that and just fight, I be feeling so bad for people. And I'm not at all saying that this isn't a time to fight. Yo, I hate to say it. I'm a Black woman in America. Every single day is a fight. I'm currently in Canada. Every single day is a fight. But you guys, so anyway, so somebody posted in the comments, and I felt like this guy was reasonable, which is why I responded to him, right? He said, she not like us, or they not like us, something like that, right? And I could tell that he posted that to like be subversive or provocative, but it didn't really offer anything in the conversation. So then I asked him, I said, okay, let's say your thesis or your premise, right, is she's not like us. And, we all understand that because we're coming off of the very popular Kendrick Lamar song, right? Name me a president in our history who is like us. I'll wait. Do y'all think he named a president in our history that is like us? He did not. But he did state a more productive opinion, a more reasonable opinion. And then I believe he said that he would be voting for Dr. Cornel West, which is totally fine. Vote for Dr. Cornel West. If he's on the ballot in November, vote for Dr. Cornel West if that's what you want to do, But that was a more reasonable contribution to the conversation than she not like us or they not like us. And that is what inspired me to go into the comment section. So let's do it. And I'm only doing comments from, I got stand up on YouTube and everything. I'm not doing comments from my stand up. I'm only doing comments from, I'm Reasonable episodes. And I'm going to just scroll. From the newest to the oldest, and we'll see how far we get. Okay. Let's see. First comment I see 17 hours ago from episode 23. Is France a reasonable country for the Olympics? Somebody said France is trash. still on their separatist-ish. I got to be in France in November, so I ain't going to completely say that they are trash, but I do feel like, as I said last week, they did get a lot. I feel like they got more negative press, and a lot of the negative press that came from the Olympics in France did not have to do with the Olympics committee. There were some things, right, that had to do with the Olympics and that body, but a lot of things were just like France and the French law enforcement, and like very specific to that country. So yeah, France is feeling like, I was about to say a trash day. So this person commented on episode 24. Is it reasonable to call M. Night Shyamalan in the Indian Tyler Perry? That might not have been reasonable, but that's how I felt. Because Trap was so bad. Trap, only thing better about Trap than the Tyler Perry movie was that clearly everybody looked nice. It wasn't no wigs out of place. It wasn't no continuity errors. They clearly used a good portion of the budget for the production. But in terms of the writing and the directing, basura. Okay. This person says, and you guys will see because I'll post them. They said, Z, huge fan. In fact, that's what concerned me about going to see you. I thought you would do some of the stuff I've seen on YouTube. I imagine they're talking about my stand-up. Not that would have been horrible. I mean, I'm sure I would still laugh, but man, was I pleasantly surprised when it was all new. And hubby loves Sydney too. Sydney is my friend. She also opens for me sometimes, especially her relapse joke. You two were great. Thank you. So here's the thing, you guys. If you ever are wondering, like, dang, I watch all her videos on YouTube, on Instagram, on TikTok, and she's doing a live show, but I don't want to have to go to the live show or pay for the live show if she's just going to do the stuff that I'm watching online. No. There is little to no overlap. First of all, if you ever see me post a stand-up clip, that stand-up, once it's out for the world online, it's out for the world. I don't do that show. So much so that people be coming up to me after they see my new hour. They be coming up to me like, that was so good, but I can't believe you didn't do the 9/11 joke. I can't believe you didn't do the trash joke. I thought you was going to do the name joke. No. If you want to see any jokes from my special, Hijabs Off, you got to go watch the special. The special is out there, so you could go watch it over and over and over and over again. Any joke that I've clipped up and put online, all you got to do is go to whatever platform it's on and watch it over and over and over and over. The point of me going out and doing a live show is to test new material. Is to tour this new hour to make sure that it is ready to be put out there for people to watch over and over and over and over again. So if that's a concern of yours, let it go and buy a ticket. Let's see. What's next? This person, this is from episode 14. Was Diddy's apology reasonable? This person said, I love you. You're funny. I have a question. Is it necessary to slurp your tea? I drink tea. I don't hear any slurping. I don't really be knowing if I'm slurping or not, but whatever I'm doing is for sure necessary. This is from the clip. I don't know what episode this is from, but it's from the clip. It's from a clip of this podcast where I was saying that Kamala is the first. If she wins, she'll be the first female president. She'll be the first president with a silk press. First, I named a bunch of firsts, right? And I go from very factual information to just being silly because, you guys, humor is my profession. That's what I'm bringing you. I'm not a journalist. I'm not a professor. My humor is the profession. So I'm always trying to give y'all humor. Okay? When y'all miss that, When it goes over your head, it concerns me. Okay? So this person says, you forgot Lady Michelle and her mom already did it. Talking about the first person wearing a bonnet. But see, you got to go back to what I said. I said first president to be doing these things. The first president to be doing these things. From episode 24, Is It Reasonable to Call M. Night Shyamalan, the Indian Tyler Perry? This comment was Tyrese. He's singing over his music to Love Transaction. I actually listened to Tyrese's interview on the Breakfast Club. I believe it was the Breakfast Club yesterday. And he explained why he was wearing that. He explained that it actually had nothing to do with Marvin Gaye, and that the internet, that's something that the internet came up with. But he was shooting a music video that takes place like in the 1960s, and that's why he looked like that. That's why he had on that beard unit and that head unit, because ultimately he is an actor. He's a performer. And in order for him to get to the stadium and be present for the rehearsal and ultimately the performance, he would not have time to remove his costume. And so he showed up in costume. But it worked out because him showing up in costume is what even had the world knowing that he sang the Star-Spangled Banner the national anthem at the Rams game, right? Because if he would have just showed up as Tyrese looking dapper and, you know what I'm saying, no extra accoutrement, et cetera, then it probably would not have made all of the blogs, videos, et cetera, that it made. Okay, so also from last week's episode, Is It Reasonable to Call M. Night Shyamalan and Indian Tyler Perry, episode 24. This user put Chiles, talking about the gymnast Jordan Chiles. The time limit is set for a reason. When it is over, it's over. If we allow 4 extra seconds for Jordan, then it opens the door for years of challenging and disputes. I do believe that's true, although I do believe that there has to, I don't think I was asking, is it unreasonable to not have a time limit? I was just saying, is it unreasonable for the time limit to be so short? But I do get what you're saying. You know, you give an inch, people take a mile. If we allow for a 4-second penalty, then next time they'll ask for a 10-second penalty, and then a 20-second penalty. And then eventually, as the user said, we'll be disputing things that happened years ago, right? I did hear, though, that I did read, rather. I don't want to say I heard it like I heard it from my friend. No, I did see in some of the current like news updates that the coach has actually said that she disputed the score before the minute was up. She says that it was in the 40s. I believe it's the coach rather, said that it was at 46 minutes or something like that. And so I don't know, but I do know that Jordan Chiles posted a video, made a post to social media saying that this was really hard and that she was going to step away from social media for a little while as this, just to work through this. And that I completely understand, because whether ultimately 2 athletes are paying for a error on the judge's behalf, right? So like, let's say Jordan Chiles just loses her bronze medal. That sucks. To believe that you won, to know that you actually did do everything that was necessary for you to achieve a bronze medal, but for some reason you did not go home with it, right? But then the Romanian gymnast, to know like you get to have the medal, but you actually didn't earn it. I think it just sucks. I think it's a stain for both athletes, and that sucks. Okay, this is also from. I'm going through the most recent comments because this, as I'm reading the comments from last week's episode, this is what made me realize, like, oh, I gotta just talk about the comment section. So when I was talking about the Olympics and I was talking about Jordan Chiles, I kept saying the mat competition. But I said that I knew I was saying something wrong, right? And I knew people was going, but this user, listen, I it was burning their ears, okay? They put floor exercise, not the mat competition. Now, obviously they're saying it and like they're laughing at me as much as I am pissing them off, right? It's still in good fun, good nature, good energy, right? But listen, I apologize. I'm so sorry. The floor exercise. I apologize for saying the mat competition. I did not mean to diminish it in any way. Floor exercise. Here's the question. When I was just talking about Jordan Chiles 2 minutes ago, did I say floor exercise or did I say mat competition? Oh my God. I'm going to do better, y'all. Okay, so again from episode 24, it's totally reasonable to expect people to alert you if you drop something. I always tell people if I see them drop something, even if it's just a slip of paper, you never know what it is, and it costs nothing to tell someone. So why not? Please speak up about much less. I completely agree with this user. I mean, I agree with it. I said it on my podcast. It costs you nothing to be like, hey, excuse me, I think you dropped something. Hey, excuse me, I think you left something. Hey, excuse me, is this yours? It costs you nothing, and it may save something so great in their lives. In the episode 14 was Diddy's apology reasonable? This user said, I'm so glad your sister said this. I totally agree. I also have fussed someone slam out over it. I'm assuming that she's talking about when my sister asked about when you like doing a favor, like giving a hookup to somebody, and they, like when people owe you, essentially that's what it is, right? We could step outside of a hookup. When somebody owes you, whether they owe you for dinner, whether they owe you because you got them a discount on something, whether they owe you for the Uber, whatever, when they decide to round down, it's like, where they do that at? If you ever going to round something, you got to round up. People saying that I'm beautiful. I appreciate that, because I be looking rough on this podcast. Because I just be like, I can't put on the makeup. I just can't do it. I'm going to clean my face and have my teeth brushed, and maybe my hair will be done. But other than that, I can't commit to it. I really liked Obama for a lot of reasons. All things you said. That wife was smart, not scared to say what she thinks to her husband. Behind closed doors, she understood her role and she loves him. Okay. Men need a woman to check that ego sometimes when we get too full of ourselves. Very equally yoked. They understand love as a verb. I hope much love and peace to his family. I think that it's not even so much like, I hear you and I agree with, and I agree with what you're saying. I don't know what Michelle and Barack do behind closed doors. I can't speak to that. I know that we saw Viola play Michelle in that ABC show, and they tried to show us what they think Michelle did behind closed doors, but Michelle was no part of that production. So I can only tell you what was what was public facing. I have no idea what they be talking about or telling each other or holding each other accountable for behind closed doors. Okay. But in terms of holding the people that we love accountable, I think it's important. I think it's not just like, oh, a woman needs to hold her man accountable or men need to. No. This is a human thing. It's not a gender thing. It's not a sex thing. It's a human thing. The people that we love, that we want to be integral, that we want to be functioning at their highest level, and we want that also in return. I got something in the broiler and it's okay. Wait, you guys, I got to go check on it. Wait a second. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. And what I have in the broiler is not burnt. Okay, let's get to another comment. This next comment, It's very reasonable to expect a human being to be kind and let you know if you dropped or left something behind. It's also reasonable to have a time limit to when you have to inform the officials about a needed correction. Talking about the floor exercise. But unreasonable for a coach to not be on top of their job when they know the gymnast's performance. I thought about that. I thought, like, wait a second, do we blame the coach? And it's so interesting, right? Because it's like when something good happened, we ain't never like confused on who gets the credit. But whenever something bad happens, it's like, okay, wait a second, who do we blame? Because somebody got to be blamed, right? I thought about that at first, like, is it the coach's fault? Because, I mean, the coach knows the rules. I may not know the rules. Y'all may not know the rules, but the coach knows the rules, right? And so I thought, and so they know, they saw her floor routine, right? They saw her floor exercise and knew that the score did not reflect her floor exercise. And they also know that there is a time limit. They have that information, even if the public doesn't have that information. But apparently, as I said, the coach said that they informed them within the correct amount of time. So this is something that we just have to wait and see how it plays out. Oh, we have an Ask Z in the comments. Well, how long have we been recording? Oh, 45 minutes. Okay. Well, I guess it's time to get to an Ask Z, right? That makes sense. Okay. In reference to Ask Z, I was talking to a guy during COVID season. We religiously watched movies and TV shows together. P-Valley had just come out and getting a lot of buzz. I suggested we watch it, but he said he wasn't interested. Okay, fine. Fair enough. The next night, he comes over and says he watched the first 2 episodes while working because people on social media was talking about it. Laugh out loud, high key, I felt away. For obvious reasons. I didn't trip over it, brushed it off even. Next day, he said he knew I was mad, but didn't think it was that deep. I had to explain how I've suffered through countless M. Night Shyamalan quality movies and shows out of consideration for him without complaining. And I expected the same. But to regard social media over me, that says a lot. We finished P-Valley together, but our relationship didn't live to see any new series. Laugh out loud. I actually really like this Ask Z because it's like layers, right? So, yeah, obviously that's crazy. That's crazy if somebody that you're hanging out with, I imagine that if you hanging out with somebody, watching TV with them, watching movies, spending time together, that you have a little bit of respect for, if you don't respect their opinion or you don't even respect like what they think about what's happening in the world, you at least respect their taste in movies and TV shows, because that's the very thing that you guys are doing together, watching movies and TV shows, right? And so for you to suggest that they watch something with you or even not with you and they're like, nah, I'm not interested, which is totally their right. Which is totally their right to not be interested, right? But for them to then the next day, so that means what they saw about 3-4 Instagram posts. And here's the thing, you know our phones are listening. So the phone probably heard them say to them, hey, let's watch P-Valley. And they said no. And then the algorithm did what the algorithm did and sent them all the posts of people talking about P-Valley. And so I don't think that it's wrong for them to be convinced by social media, but I think that it's wrong for them to not acknowledge that. To not acknowledge that. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I would have been like, I was, this is how I would have spoke to a person that I was watching movies with, a person I was hanging out with, right? Passing the, passing the time we're hanging out with during COVID, right? I would have been like, yo, it's crazy. It's crazy because remember yesterday I was like, matter of fact, I was about to go through the scenario, but I wouldn't have even done that. I was about to be like, yo, it's crazy because you told me to watch P-Valley. And I was like, nah, I'm not interested in that. And then I went home and all through my timeline, it was nothing but people talking about P-Valley, 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 P-Valley. I'm like, yo, you know what? But here's the difference between me and whoever you talking about. I would have then, because we're not even talking about 24 hours. We talking about you to ask them to watch P-Valley. They said no. Then that night, they watched the first 2 episodes, came to you the next day and was like, I watched 2 episodes last night. I would have just waited. I would have been like, yo, what's crazy is when I got home, all up and down my timeline was P-Valley, P-Valley, P-Valley. And I was like, you know what? When I get back to their house tomorrow, we watching P-Valley. And now we watching P-Valley together. That's it. That's what I would have done. So I think that it's crazy that I would have at the very least, texted you like, yo, I know I just told you I ain't trying to watch P-Valley, but I done just got my whole social media. It was just got bombarded with P-Valley posts. So I'm going to watch the first 2 episodes tonight. And then hopefully, what episodes have you already watched? So I could watch those episodes. And then when I see you tomorrow, we'll watch the rest. That's reasonable. But to just come in and be like, yeah, it was crazy. They was talking about it on social media. So of course, that's going to make somebody feel disregarded. It's like, come on, we got better social skills than that. We got better, we have better like people skills than that. But I think sometimes you got to pay attention to what people are giving you, even when, like, to me, it's like, no, he disregarded you. Or I don't know if it's a he. I just made that in my mind. I'm sorry. That person disregarded you. And it was they were giving you a very clear indicator, which is why, as you said at the very end, y'all ain't make it to another series. Because they was trying to tell you that you didn't hold that much power. You wasn't going to be that much of a presence in their life. Unfortunately. But here's the other thing. Here's the other level to this. So you see how you said you felt the way about it for obvious reasons, but you didn't trip over it. You actually brushed it off. That's what you thought. So if they going to come back, you said it's a he. So if he came back the next day and was like, I know you was mad and I don't even think it was that deep. Well, that means that you didn't really do a good job of brushing it off. You didn't really do a good job of moving past it. And so a lot of times we be thinking like when we're upset, we think like, we playing like, but I ain't even say nothing. Energy is so much stronger than the things that we say. So if you are mad, honor those feelings. I think that's what you could have did. It would have been very reasonable for you in that moment to be like, my feelings are a bit hurt. And depending on y'all situationship, it might not seem like it might not seem like you can have feelings, but you can. My feelings were hurt. My feelings was hurt. Then ain't nobody tell me that I dropped my sweater. And those are complete strangers that I'll never see. I never saw before that. Never will see again. Can't even tell you how they looked if I had to describe them today. But my feelings was still hurt. And so, yeah, if you hanging out with somebody, you hanging out with a guy, and then you make a suggestion and he just negates your suggestion. And then the very next day it's like, but I did it because the people online told me. Yeah, my feelings are hurt. And I would like, while we're watching videos and stuff, while we're watching movies and TVs, I would like for you to not hurt my feelings. Or I would at least like for you to be accountable when you do. That's not unreasonable. Let's see. I'm going to do one more before we get out of here. I'm going to let me go back into you know what? I'm not going to do this. I was about to suggest it like I was going to do it, but I'm not going to do this. I was about to say I should do like a bonus episode every week and just go into the comment section, right? Because most of these comments came from episode 24. And so it's like if I could have gone into every episode afterwards and but we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. Sorry, you guys. Let me find one more comment before I get up out of here. Somebody put consensual relationships for Kamala. See? Humor. Listen, I also, just as I was corrected from mat routine to floor exercise, I have another correction. I said last week that I connected in Vienna, which I did, but I said Vienna, I think, was in Switzerland. It is not. Vienna is in Austria. And this user, she said, honey, you are gorgeous. And with the following mention, you'll be even smarter. Vienna is in Austria, not Switzerland. I said, yes, get me together. And now it makes sense because I was wondering, the airline that I flew on coming back to LA was Austria Airlines. And I was like, what is Austria Airlines? What is that? Makes perfect sense. Thanks for getting me together, girl. Oh, but somebody said that there is video proof that the USA coach filed the challenge in 47 seconds. Okay, I'll end on this last comment. I think. Dang, I should have been did this. I'm sorry, y'all. We learn as we go. Being from Haiti, I don't care about France. The negative press that they got will not help their tourism, in my opinion. They mistreated Haiti hundreds of years ago, and Haiti still suffers. And in a way, now the world sees France. I still think France is seen as a white country, and Haiti seen as a black country. And so, unfortunately, even with the bad press surrounding the Olympics, I still don't think the world is like, ugh, but let's not go to France. And I don't even think that I'm suggesting that. One of my closest friends is Haitian. I've always been really I was baffled to learn the history of Haiti in regards to the French and them not allowing the colonization of their country and forcing them out and then having to pay some sort of debt for that. I'm going to be very honest with you guys. It makes so little sense to me. I'm still baffled by it. And it could only be one thing, pure at the most simple level, racism. And it goes back to the point that I was making in at the top of the episode in regards to our presidential election, the very awful circumstance in Gaza. We're Haiti, right? Because this ain't a hot topic for people right now. But it should be, because, right, didn't Malcolm X say injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere? So just in the same way that I should have a Palestinian flag in my bio, I should have a Haiti flag in my bio, and a Sudanese flag in my bio, and a Congolese flag in my bio. In every single place in the world where there is an overt mistreatment and an overt disregard of the people there. Ain't nobody talking about Haiti, but everybody, if you just know the story of Haiti in regards to France, I can't see any reasonable, educated, smart, comprehending person understanding what happened in Haiti and then Haiti, and then saying, oh, yeah, it's reasonable that Haiti had to pay that. And still the only airline that flies to Haiti is Spirit. Did I tell y'all that before? So people who trying to get to and from it, my very close friend, he's filming a movie, and some of it takes place, he's Haitian, Will Sylvans, it takes place in Haiti. And he was able to secure a name actor, and had a hard time telling the name actor, I'm so sorry, we could get you the big front seat on Spirit. But that's all we got. That's how little the world is focused on Haiti. You know, little things tell us. I think that maybe there's like one American flight or something like that out of certain southeastern states. But for the most part, the main airport airline is coming and going from Haiti is Spirit Airlines. I know a couple of episodes ago, I was like, thank you, Spirit. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But let's be for real. Any reasonable person would be like, so wait a second. It was already these indigenous people living there, and there was these Africans brought over there, and then these French colonizers tried to come over and make them, enslave them and rape their women and pillage their land and rape their children and do all of those things. And they said, no, they not trying to have it. They fought, and the French had to retreat back to France. And then wait a second, the world came together, the powers that be came together and was like, oh, but Haiti, because you did this, because you was like, nah, not over here, now y'all gotta pay. That's crazy. So I understand when this user says, being from Haiti, I don't care about France. I get that in the bottom of my soul. I understand that. That's very reasonable. Okay, I'm gonna get up out of here. Next week we'll be right back on task. We'll be talking about headlines. Okay. Until then, stay reasonable. Bye, you guys.